Hi Halo, welcome to this video. This is essentially going to be my rant, my unpopular opinion about Project Hail Mary. Now, here's the caveat of it all. I did not read the book, and two, I was never actually interested in this movie. However, my cousin did text me and was like, I was gonna go see it tonight. You wanna go see it? And I was like, sure. So I watched it, and while I was watching it and I was in the theater, and when I left, before I really sat and thought about it, I thought it was a fine movie. Here's my unpopular opinion. I think the way the movie ends is diabolical. In the sense that I know that in the book I have learned through waiting to do this review a couple of weeks after watching the movie, and probably a couple of weeks more till I post this, that in the book it seems that Earth figured everything out and that our star survives the star eating amoebas. Now the movie does not lead you to do anything like that, right? The movie ends with him, in my opinion, colonizing another planet and teaching that planet's children about his version of science. And in my opinion, it should be the reverse. Shouldn't those children and Rocky be teaching him about their science and their world? Which maybe they do, but we don't get to see that off camera, so I'm going to assume. I don't know what I'm going to assume, but I just don't like it. Because in my opinion, if you could do whatever you wanted without being paid and it's still to be a teacher and to teach children about science, I don't know why you didn't come home. Because here's the thing. It feels like when he chose the other planet, he chose to, instead of working to fix something, he discarded it to go where it was better. And what is it giving? It's giving white millionaire, it's giving white billionaire, it's giving, I don't like England, so I'm going to colonize the Americas. It felt icky, it felt gross to me that he would choose to go somewhere else instead of coming home to help his planet. Because in reality, due to science in real life and science in the movie, if they have 30 years to fix our sun, and it took him 11 Earth years to get to the star, but then through time dilation, it only took him 4, right? And it's going to take him 4, but another 11 years back in our time, Earth time, then that's 22 years gone with 8 years left before the sun dies. And so instead of choosing us and coming back home and working hard and going through those trials with the notes and everything to help the scientists down there, down here with us, he chooses to save his pet rock. Which by the science of the movie should have just been dead in his spaceship due to the fact that the star eating the amoebas that eat the star eaters ate through the zenith. Technically, Rocky should have died. It took him, essentially, the ship alerted him with what had to have been just a couple of days, maybe a week, right? And then it took, oh, there goes my battery. It took him 48 days to get to Rocky. Rocky should technically be dead. Rocky should be dead, right? And I also feel like it's just a weird message to send to pick it, because I call him his pet rock because it's not necessarily giving equal. It's giving pet and companion. I'm just shocked. I'm not shocked. I'm disappointed that he would pick for someone, because apparently in the book he really talks about how much he loves teaching the children. And that's why he goes on this whole thing, along with other things, is that the children. And I'm like, so you forsaken these children to go save Rocky. And then because Rocky is somehow still alive despite the logic and the science of both the movie and probably the book, you then are just gonna opt in to a planet and help them. Because I would imagine he'd also help them fix what's ever happening. So then he gets to live in a planet, in a place that has it all fixed and figured out without having to go back home. I don't know. I just didn't like it. There was just something about it that really rubbed me the wrong way. I think I'm just coming off maybe because it's too relevant. Or at the top of my mind, this creator, Jasmine Simone, I think is her name. And she did something, I'm going to quote her, and it's not going to be good because she says it much better. But just I know that my friends are amazing and kind, and my family is amazing and kind, and if my friends and family are amazing and kind, then other people's friends are amazing and kind, and other people's families are amazing and kind. And if the world is full of amazing and kind people, then the world is worth saving. And I have to believe that the world is worth saving. And so that was a TikTok I saw like maybe a couple of days before I went to go see this movie. And I think just sitting and watching him pick his pet rock to go then teach these pet rock children, which really upsets me. There's just something about that narrative of like a stranger coming to a foreign country and then teaching those children his version of science that feels weird, feels icky. And then to have like her words in my mind, to know that he essentially, in my opinion, gives up. He does the easier thing, which is just to go hang out with his pet rock instead of coming home to help figure out his notes, the videos, and walk people through and help expand and save his home. Especially after he goes on and on about climbing trees and how sitting in front of an ocean and a beach is never the same because of the tides and erosion. It's never the same beach twice. And all these other things about how he misses fog and whatnot. And it like really rubbed me the wrong way. And maybe it also felt very individualistic. It felt, I don't know. Because I get that in the movie, they force him into the situation. So it does make a little bit of sense, a wee bit of sense that he would pick his pet rock over people because like that is upsetting. But also to condemn all of the 8 billion people in the world due to the actions of like a small few people is banana beans. And again, like he seemed to really care for the students in the movie. And I think it's even more emphasized in the book from what I've seen like here and there on like TikTok and whatnot. Because again, I have not read the book and I definitely am no longer interested in reading the book. That he would come back to like save those children. To make sure that they got to grow up in a world that didn't have a dying son. I don't know. I just like the ending really, really distresses me. And I am kind of bummed that everybody's like loving it. Like I do realize that I am in the minority. And this idea that like this movie upset me. Because everyone seems to be loving it. I've seen like Letterboxd things and it's got a decently high review. Like a 4.25 out of like 5 stars. So people have really enjoyed it. And I was like, it's not a bad time. But I think sitting with like the ending and really thinking about like the actual impact of that, and it really provokes anguish in me that this fictional character made these fictional decisions about this fictional earth. And also too, I think because we are so close to climate change and like irreversible, well, we have reached some part of like irreversible damage, but like we can still pull back. We can still fix it. That I'm just like, we ourselves have 30 minutes. And just to know that there might be somebody who could be the key or a part of a collaborative team to help fix things for all of us, who then opts out for like their own personal interest, really devastates me. Really devastates me as someone who does not have access to being in those rooms and like sitting at those tables with that education, degree, experience, whatever, to like help shift this. All I can do is recycle and, you know, try to reduce my carbon footprint, which is all just a part of a marketing scheme because I can do my best. But if we're not slapping BP and everybody else, it almost feels pointless, even though nothing I do is ever pointless because all of my actions do not happen in vacuums. All of my actions do, in fact, have positive and negative consequences, just in a ripple effect into everybody else's life and everybody else's choices, because they do not happen in vacuums. Your choice doesn't happen in a vacuum. Like, they impact other people, whether you physically see it or not, it does. Our actions don't happen in vacuums, and it just feels like that decision was made, and like whatever would make my life easier and be important to me is to save these other people, these other aliens, because I formed a singular bond with this one singular creature and technically it should be dead by the logic and the science of the movie before I ever got to his ship. Nor did you ever explain how you were going to find said ship. And maybe it wasn't clear enough that he just went to the planet. I don't know. But all I do know is that I was very sad by the ending. when I sat and reflected and thought back on it, which is a bummer. It's not a bummer. I'm allowed to feel sad about media, and that's not inherently bad. It's just, I didn't think that it was going to provoke such intense emotion from me to see this space movie, this sci-fi movie. Those are my thoughts on Project Hail Mary. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, I hope you live your best life. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.